map. Statistically, Groundhog's Day, when the day's high hits somewhere in the 40s, we have a 75% chance that springtime's right around the corner. Well, guess what we had in Cleveland today? We didn't have 49. We didn't have 48. We didn't have 44. We hit 50 degrees, so we're out of there. Doesn't look like that's going to take place because we did not see highs in the 40s. In fact, the way things are shaping up, folks, it's going to be an extended return to wintertime for at least a couple of weeks. 40 degrees, drizzle. No lightning out there. Ignore that. I don't know why the computer plotted lightning. Haven't had any of that. 38-degree dew points, 93% humidity, and a north wind at 5. Northeast winds in Akron, 41 degrees again. We've got some fog and drizzle around the region. Our carrier neighborhood along the lakeshore. Lake breeze coming in off that 34-degree lake water, so temps are cooler there. Inland areas still low and middle 40s. A wider view. Still some mild air left over in the Ohio and Tennessee valleys, and some of that will hang around for tomorrow. But then this Arctic air here up around Minneapolis, 33 degrees. Those temps will be with us the weekend and beyond. Today's high 50 degrees, 30 the morning start. We've got about 1/10 of an inch of rain, no snow, but that should change beginning Saturday when we're watching for another storm system. There it goes. First wave, first low pressure. Second low, that one's rain. Second low I'm concerned about. Watch that low pull right up somewhere into western PA, and with cold air coming in, we're going to be awful close to some heavy snowfall. You've got to keep up to date with the latest forecast for your Saturday and Sunday. Lake effect could also be a problem as we head into the beginning of next week. Tonight, 38 degrees, rain, drizzle, and fog. Tomorrow morning's rush, very sloppy and wet. Friday, 45, mainly afternoon rain. Well, morning rain, then we'll break apart a little bit. Could see some rain arriving by late in the afternoon. Saturday, here's the rub. Depending on where that storm system goes, rain early, changing over to snow with a few-inch accumulation possible. Stay tuned. Suzanne Horgan will have the latest Good Morning Cleveland tomorrow morning. 32 Sunday with lake effect snows, 30 Monday, 29 Tuesday, and cold all the way through next week.
Last weekend's deadly shooting of a 16-year-old boy in the Flats caused many of us to consider the very real dangers of teen nights. Weeks before, News Channel 5 received tips about illegal activities at teen nights in clubs all across northeastern Ohio. Tonight, 5 on your side, Chief Investigator Duane Pohlman uncovering the truth about teen night.
Ted, our team took undercover cameras into these clubs to show what really happens. Tonight, we expose a world many parents hoped they'd never see. It's Saturday night in the suburbs. Parents are dropping off their teens for what's supposed to be a worry-free night of fun. Inside, it's a much different picture. Tonight, 5 on your side takes you undercover inside teen clubs, revealing a raucous world of drinking, drugs, and dirty dancing. Parents are stunned.
Oh my God, this looks like a strip club.
And cops convinced.
It's like spring break in North Homestead.
What we uncovered will leave you asking how cities and cops can allow this right under their noses. Why can't you just shut that club down?
We're doing everything as far as law enforcement could go.
The club at the center of our investigation is Krobar. On Saturday nights, 13 to 19-year-olds who can't legally drink come here to hang out and, of course, dance. The dress, or lack of it, is the first thing you notice here. We can't even show you what this teen apparently wants everybody to see. And our cameras catch these conservatively dressed girls pulling their clothes off in the parking lot as their parents pull away.
It's just wrong on so many levels.
Inside, the club is packed with underage children, some of them in little more than underwear. Remember, many of these girls are barely in high school.
We just have no business in that type of setting together.
That's a recipe for disaster.
But the real age gap is even wider. The club doesn't ID the kids, so no one really knows how old or how young they really are. The producer we send in undercover is 28.
She was never ID'd. And she got in. She's 28.
That's wrong.
And police confirm 2 girls charged with curfew violations on January 21st were only 12 years old. They spent the night inside. If those girls had gone into a bar, they would have been kicked out. But because this is teen night, almost anything goes. During nearly 6 hours of surveillance, we watch as several teens stumble or are carried or helped out of the club. This 17-year-old girl is hauled away on a stretcher. Even though alcohol isn't served on teen night, police report her blood alcohol level at .331.
That's unbelievable. She should have died.
It's more than 4 times the legal limit of alcohol for a driver in Ohio. And we watched this. Young girls brawling. And bouncers had to break it up. In just the first 4 Saturdays of this year, police have arrested 57 children outside this club on charges ranging from drug trafficking to alcohol consumption and assault. Still, the police and the city say they're powerless to stop most of this. But are they really? Some clubs, like Vegas and Parma, are tame by comparison. We take you undercover at this club, too. But no dancing on the bars here. The difference? Parma has an ordinance dealing with teen clubs. For example, Parma prohibits dancing that is vulgar, suggestive, or immoral. North Olmsted, where Krobar is located, doesn't have that kind of ordinance.
We are doing everything we possibly can down there to enforce the laws.
But one of those laws in North Olmsted is a curfew, 11 p.m. for kids 15 and under, midnight for 16 to 18-year-olds. It is the law that these kids are violating curfew and they're getting away with it.
And nobody's getting away with anything.
But again, we watch. From 11:30 to midnight, teens spill out of the club. Officers are here, but don't cite anyone.
Did you bring your kids to a place
Absolutely
like
not. My kids have asked, they're not coming.
Yet many parents do bring their children to these clubs, dropping them right off at the front door. Tomorrow, on Live on 5, I go one-on-one with one of those parents and ask why he brings his own daughter to that club. Then on News Channel 5 at 6, I track down the owner of Krobar, the club at the center of our investigation, who admits things did get out of control. Plus, we'll show you how our investigation is causing some big changes at that club and in that city. I'll be back for much more tomorrow at 5 and 6.
Duane, looking forward to those reports. Thank you. Well, all eyes will be on Detroit this week.
Five on Your Side investigation we first showed you last night that exposed the truth about teen night. 5 on Your Side's investigative team brought hidden cameras into clubs in Northeast Ohio that cater to underage teens. At a club in North Olmsted, we uncovered a world of binge drinking, drugs, and dirty dancing. So who is to blame for all of these problems, and what's being done to stop all of this? 5 on Your Side Chief Investigator Duane Pohlman has been asking some very tough questions.
And I've been getting some answers from the mayor of North Olmsted, the club where we taped those disturbing scenes. Well, that's in his city. And I confront the owner of Club Krobar, who admits things got out of control. That report is coming up tonight at 6. But right now, we want to turn our attention to parents, who authorities say share the burden of blame. Saturday, in the suburbs, it's teen night at Krobar, a club in North Olmsted. Parents drop off their young kids for a night of fun.
I love to dance.
Inside, our hidden cameras expose a raucous scene of dirty dancing and dangerous dress. And we watch as teens repeatedly stumble or are carried out. An ambulance hauls this teen to the hospital for alcohol poisoning. Still, these 15-year-old girls say it's okay.
I feel safe. I wouldn't be going if I didn't feel safe.
That's what they told the dad of one of the girls, too. He dropped them off.
You trust them. I trust mine and her friend.
But out here in the parking lot, that dad watched and saw some, but not all, the trouble here.
It got so bad where I've had parents approaching about it. You shouldn't be taking them there.
Still, this dad continued dropping off his own daughter and her friends. And that's the part the cops just don't understand. Kids will be kids, but Lieutenant Jamie Gallagher says,
I also have to put some back onto the parents. Parents need to know where their children are, where they're going, what they're doing when they're not at home.
As a parent, you saw all this. Why did you bring your daughter here?
They're not coming here again.
You're done with it?
Yes.
This father is drawing the line.
I trust my kids, but unfortunately make mistakes about letting them in the wrong area. They shouldn't be in this.
Now, while that dad admits he should have stepped in earlier, there are many other parents who never stepped in at all. Coming up on News Channel 5 at 6, I track down the owner of Krobar, barely older than a teen himself, and the mayor of North Olmsted is calling for a new law. The truth about teen night continues. A lot of fallout here. I'll see you back here at 6 o'clock.
And if there is a new law, that will change the club culture?
Well, there's going to be a lot of changes in the town itself, including culture, but they can limit some of the extent of what's going on in there. We'll discuss that at 6 o'clock.
We'll see you at 6. Thank you, Duane.
Again, airing, but already it's triggering major changes. Our investigative team took hidden cameras into teen clubs in Northeast Ohio that cater to kids. At one club in North Olmsted, we captured a world of binge drinking, drugs, and dirty dancing. And again, those involved are children. Well, tonight, 5 on Your Side, Chief Investigator Duane Pohlman tracks down the owner of that club and talks with the mayor of the city where it's located.
And both the owner and mayor are promising big changes. The mayor of North Olmsted is calling for a new law to deal with teen clubs. The owner of the club is announcing new rules, and he's apologizing for what went on at his club.
I apologize to the city, to local law enforcement for all the inconveniences.
Mark Hammond is sorry, but what's been happening at his club, Krobar, has been more than an inconvenience. In a 5 on Your Side investigation, our hidden cameras exposed the truth about teen nights here, a place where the dress and dirty dancing stunned parents.
Oh my God, this looks like a strip club.
In just 4 Saturdays this year, police have arrested and cited 57 teens for violations from assault to drugs and alcohol. This teen went to the hospital with alcohol poisoning.
Were you aware of the problems? Most of the problems, no, I was unaware of it. A lot of it happened in the parking lot. When I was conducting business inside, that stuff was going on outside.
But we watched Hammond. He came outside several times when there was trouble to watch this search and this stumbling teen.
Do you now agree that it was a bit out of control?
Yes. I'm not denying the fact that it got a little bit out of control.
To deal with that and the growing pressure from our investigation, Hammond says he's about to make big changes to teen night. Starting tomorrow, 13, 14, and 15-year-olds will not be allowed in.
Now the club's 16 and 19. You have to have ID.
And he says he'll be enforcing a new dress code.
It's the appropriate dress.
And the dancing on the bars will be gone too. Hammond says he was reluctant to make these changes, but says he now has no choice.
And to keep everything running as it was.
To get the money at the door the way it was to keep the business profitable.
Absolutely.
And this is how Krobar ran. The cops in the city say they could not control the craziness because North Olmsted doesn't have a law dealing with teen clubs.
If there is a criticism, people would say North Olmsted should have had this ordinance already.
Hindsight's always 20/20. I agree. It would have been wonderful if we had this ordinance 2 years ago or 5 years ago. I think that's a fair criticism.
Now, because of our 5 on Your Side investigation, the mayor says he will push for a new law to make sure this, and this don't happen in his town again.
Absolutely. We are moving forward with legislation.
Now, we've gotten a look at what may be in North Olmsted's new law after we began airing our investigation. Councilman Paul Miller today handed in this. It's an emergency legislative request asking the city to outlaw holding teen nights at clubs with liquor licenses. Seems to make sense. And he's requesting a 50-to-1 minimum ratio for security officers inside and outside any teen event. Of course, we'll continue to follow any details and developments here.
And perhaps most astonishing of all, you're telling me the age of this club owner is?
23 years old.
Amazing.
23.
And he's the owner.
Thanks, Duane.
Thanks, Duane.